I was born in 1976. Good year, because that was the year I was born. Basically, gaming had just became a cult phenomenon. You know, the first console system, gaming, it was like you had Pong.
You're watching the most exciting game you will ever see on your TV set. Telstar by Coleco with 3 different games. Telstar Tennis with digital scoring, variable speeds. Telstar Hockey. Each player controls a goalie plus a forward on the other side. Oops, a goal. And Telstar Singles Handball, a game you play yourself. Telstar Handball, Tennis, Hockey. All 3 at an exciting low price.
But the first gaming console to come out was the Magnavox Odyssey. It was in 1972.
The electronic game of the future. Odyssey easily attaches to any brand TV, black and white or color, to create a closed-circuit electronic playground. Odyssey gives you all the exciting action of hockey and 11 other challenging play and learning games for the entire family.
During the first generation of gaming, it was difficult. It was a fad. It was pretty much everything it was different. It was something new. And my mother embraced it at a very young age. She would go and play Pong, and she would just love to play video games in her spare time when she was going to college. At that time, through the years, I always thought I was a first generation gamer, but I come to realization that I'm a second generation gamer. The first generation gamer was my mom. And when I say first generation gamers, what games or systems or consoles? The first generation consists of the Magnavox Odyssey, the Telstar, the Coleco Telstar, the Pong, actual home version of it. You know, it wasn't 2 years later I realized the color TV. The color TV is basically Nintendo. Nintendo Color TV was a box that was only sold in the Japanese and the Asian Pacific region. Now, the winner of the first generation, surprisingly, is the Nintendo Color TV. It sold over 3 million units in Japan region alone. That by far is ridiculous. For years, I thought, the Magnavox Odyssey was the clear-cut winner of the first generation of video game consoles. But no, the Nintendo Color TV is the very first winner. And like I said, what year did that come out? The Color TV came out in 1977, a year after my birthday, a year after I was born. And as you can see, video games has been real, I was there at the beginning, at the very beginning. I may not be able to play the first generation games, but that second generation, that was the birth of me being a gamer. On to the second generation, where I became a gamer. My memory vividly, it's like one of my first memories of being existent as a child was I was 3 years old, and my dad came. He was in the military. He was in the Army. He came and visited. I was living with my grandma at the time, and he dropped off Atari 2600 CVS. That was my very first system. I was 3 years old when I got that. That box was about as big as me, bro. The box was about as big as me. I remember vividly surfboarding it down to the basement to the television. I remember at that time the TV had 2 channel dials, one for VHF and one for UHF. And I didn't have a screwdriver, so I had to use a butter knife to turn the screw so I can hook it up and change to channel 3. And I remember just vividly, I had 3 games. He bought me 3 games. It was Pitfall, it was Combat, and it was like a sports game. It had baseball, football. I can't remember if it had basketball in it, but I just remember vividly having so much fun in that basement for the next week and a half with that system. This was 1979, and at that time, I just enjoyed it. No, actually I was 4 years old, because in 1980, my sister was born. So yeah, it was 79, so yeah, I was 4 years old. So I was just having fun, just enjoying it. It was a blast. Just remember enjoying the hell out of Atari. Thought this was fun. That's all I wanted to do was play Atari.
Okay, Atari, let's see your best pitch.
You're out, Rose.
The Atari video computer system is 20 cartridges with 1,300 game variations you play on your own TV set.
You can't keep me in here, Atari.
Now, consoles in the second generation, you had the Fairfield Channel F, you had the Atari 2600, of course, CVS, you had the Astrocade, you had the Odyssey 2.0, and you had the Intellivision, and you had the ColecoVision. I remember playing the ColecoVision. It wasn't until years later, I would say in 82 or 83, we moved from my grandma's house, my mom remarried and had a stepfather. I had a stepfather, and the neighbors had a ColecoVision. I remember playing Dungeons and Dragons. I remember playing a bunch of games. I thought it was real cool.
Now playing on ColecoVision, Mr. Do and Time Pilot, two of the best new arcade games for the best system made. This is Time Pilot, a battle with aircraft from the past and the future. Homing missile! Got him! Uh-oh, blue bomber! And this is Mr. Do. Mow a path to his fruit and start picking, but don't get picked off. Powerball! Nice shot. Mr. Do and Time Pilot, now playing on ColecoVision. The best system in town keeps getting better.
Second generation of video game consoles was from 1976 to 1983. The winner of the second generation, as far as when the consoles, is the Atari 2600. The Atari 2600 sold over 30 million. 30 million. And that's all together, 30 million over this. I'm picking up this. This is from as of 2004. They're still selling Atari 2600. So Atari 2600 worldwide sold over 30 million units. Unfortunately, during the second generation, Atari mismanaged their money building the ET game, and video games was losing its luster. It was going to a crash. And actually, it did go to a crash. Video games was just horrible. And then at that time, Nintendo stepped up to the plate, and they ushered, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, they ushered the actual modern day style of the video game industry that we know today. And they came out with the Nintendo Entertainment System. The third generation, okay. A lot of you have came during the third generation, and it was thankful to the Nintendo when they came out with the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Will you be the one to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System? The one to play with Rob, the extraordinary video robot, batteries not included. He helps you tackle even the toughest challenge. Will you be the first to raise the incredibly accurate Zapper and play games like Duck Hunt or action-packed Hogan's Alley and high-flying Kung Fu, each sold separately? Will you be the one to experience the Nintendo Entertainment System? Comes with Rob, Zapper, Control Deck, 2 controllers, Gyromite, and Duck Hunt.
A very good system. Other systems at that time, you had the Sega Master System, the Nintendo Entertainment System. In America, we knew it as the Nintendo Entertainment System, but over in Japan, they call it the Famicom, which was broken down from Family Computer, the Famicom. Then Atari was still going on, Atari 70, the 7800, but at the end of the day, it's still, Atari was going on the back burner. So, but Nintendo, it's funny. A lot of my friends had a Nintendo. For Christmas, I wanted a Master System. No, actually, I take that back. I wanted a Nintendo Entertainment System, but my grandmother, that was my primary gift giver at the time, she misconstrued it and got me a Master System.
Sega challenges you with the ultimate video game.
The Sega Master System.
Hang on.
With more accurate control, more detailed graphics, more levels of play.
Awesome.
The Sega Master System comes with power-based 2 control pads, light phaser, and 2 great video games. Hang On and Safari Hunt.
Gotcha.
And with other games like Rambo, Outrun, and Choplifter, the excitement never stops. The Sega Master System. The challenge will always be there.
I was still thankful. It wasn't like, oh, this ain't a Nintendo. No, I was like, oh, cool. And I remember getting Black Belt. Black Belt is actually Fist of the North Star, but they call it Black Belt over in America. And then I remember getting Alex Kidd. And I had the Sega Master System where you didn't have to put a cartridge in, and it came with Hang On. Now, what it came with Hang On? I can't think. It was a motorcycle game. I can't think of the motorcycle game. It was either Hang On. Hang On was a drive game, but it came with a motorcycle game. I can't think of the damn motorcycle game right now. But I just had so much fun with that system. But the winner of the third generation is the Nintendo, the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. As of 2004, 2006, there was 69.5 million units sold. So it won the third generation. Excuse me. Favorite games. Oh my God, there's so many games I played on the Nintendo. And like I said, I didn't get my Nintendo until years later, but I was always over my friend's house, and when I played on their Nintendo games, I used to play my favorite games. Legend of Zelda, obviously. Castlevania 3. Oh my God, Castlevania 3 was just so amazing. Strider. Super Mario Brothers 3. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was hard as hell. Ninja Gaiden 2. Or was the Ninja Gaiden 1? It was Ninja Gaiden 2, which was hard as hell. It was so many good games on that system. Battletoads. There's so many games that I've come to love and play that we know. The Adventures of Nemo, The Adventures of Lolo. It was so many games. There was so many good games on there. Double Dribble, Blades of Steel, Airwolf. These so many good games on there on that system. It was just man. Sega had some good games too. Fourth generation was from 1985 to 2000, I want to say, to 2000. And that's when I started to come, because 1985, I was like, wow, 8. You know what I'm saying? About 8, 9. And, going up to 2000s, I was pretty much a young adult by then. But the fourth generation was just... That's when my parents and my grandmother, like I said, my primary gift giver, and her twin sister was like, "You're too old for video games." So then that's when I had to be like, you know what? I got this. This is my hobby. You ain't got to worry about it no more. The last system that my grandmother bought me was a Super Nintendo, Super NES. After that, it's been on and popping. After that, I've been buying my own systems. Actually, the very first system I bought is in this fourth generation, which was the TurboGrafx 16. That was the very first system I bought by myself. I mowed a lot of lawns, shoveled a lot of snows. The games were like 19, and actually by far, TurboGrafx 16 is my favorite system of all time. A lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of people are like, "What?" Yeah, because the reason why is because I buckled down and hustled to get that system. There was another system I hustled to get too, which was the Neo Geo, but my mother found out how expensive it was, and she made me take it back. So I only had it like 3 days. But other than that, yeah, this generation, you had the Super NES, you had the Genesis, you had TurboGrafx 16, you had the the Genesis over here in America is called, the Genesis. Over in Japan, it's called the Mega Drive. Just like the Super NES over here is called the NES, but over there it was the Super Famicom. Like I said, the Neo Geo. Neo Geo was basically an arcade setup, an arcade kit in your house. Neo Geo cost like $600-700, and then the cartridges when they sell were cost anywhere from $100 to $300-400. You can pretty much charge people to play it. That's how much, because it was an arcade kit. If you built yourself a cabinet and put a Neo Geo in there, you had a working arcade cabinet. So it was crazy. So many good games. Oh, and then Atari came out. Atari came out with the Lynx. Well, that was a handheld game. And then of course the Game Boy came out. Oh my God, the Game Boy. See, here's the thing. I didn't really participate or like handhelds, but you got to keep it 100%. You got to keep it 100. The Game Boy came out around this generation. Even the TurboGrafx Express, which is a handheld. Now I messed with the TurboGrafx Express. I just couldn't afford it, but I had the TurboGrafx 16 at home. Then the Game Gear. You had the Game Gear too. So this was the introduction to a lot of handheld devices. But as far as we already know who won. We already know who won the 4th generation by far. The 4th generation was won by the Super Famicom, the Super NES. Altogether, it had sold, the Super NES worldwide sold 49.1 million units. So it was the clear winner. Okay. And even though at that time the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, they were cartridges. The TurboGrafx 16 was cards. It looked like a credit card, or it looked like a business card. Neo Geo was cartridge. They were still dabbling with new media as far as the CDs, and Sega came out with an adapter to the Genesis, which was the 32X or the Sega CD, and Neo Geo came out with the Neo Geo CD. And you could put you can use CD format. And then this is around the time Nintendo got with Sony, and they came out with the hybrid Nintendo PlayStation Nintendo console. Actually, you can see that. There's still one at the National Video Game Museum in Frisco, Texas. You can actually see it there. But I'm glad that the fallout between Nintendo and Sony happened, because now we have the PlayStation, which makes its appearance in the 5th generation. All right, we're in the 5th generation of gaming consoles. Okay, this time around the 5th generation started 1993 to 2005, 2006, and around this generation, this is when gaming started getting real good. I mean, the gaming was already good, but this is when it started getting really, really good. Like I said, Sony came out with the PlayStation, and it came and hit the grounds running. The PlayStation is the first console where I actually got it on the day it dropped. I was like, I had my own job at this time. No more hustling. I had a job. I worked at a hospital. I worked at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak, Michigan, and I was getting the money, and I'm getting this.
Like to be humiliated by women. Here's your dream date. You are not ready.
In 1995, I had graduated high school, and this is right before I came to Beaumont. I was working 2 jobs. I graduated high school in 94. It came out in 94 in Japan, but it came out in America in 95 that next year. I had graduated, and I had 2 jobs, and I was getting ready to go to college, but I took a year off, and I saved. It wasn't until the end of 96 I came to Beaumont. No, the end of 95, 96 I came to Beaumont. But I remember getting the PlayStation. What game did I get? Oh yeah, I remember now. I got Criticom. That was the worst fighting game I ever seen in my life. Criticom was horrible. Actually, I'm gonna put that trailer in here.
Commence battle. It's my destiny.
You see that? That was my first PlayStation game. And then Jumpin' Jack Flash, I got that game. That game was fun. And then Battle Arena Toshinden, oh my god. And then Tenshu, oh my god, love Tenshu. Tenshu was just amazing. Tenshu was amazing. Now, mind you, around this time, this is what, 90, this is 94, 95. Arcades is starting to get a rise back in arcades because because thanks to Capcom with Street Fighter 2. So you get, and then SNK, they got Fatal Fury. So I really spent most of my time at that time at the arcades, more so at the arcades than at home. But when I got the PlayStation, it was on and popping. And then I got the Sega Saturn. When did I get the Sega Saturn? When did I get the Sega Saturn? I remember getting the PlayStation, and my friend got a Sega Saturn, and then he got a PlayStation. But we used to go back to forth in each other's houses, and then I eventually got my Sega Saturn. I remember now. Okay, in '95, at the end of '95, I got my PlayStation. Then I went to Vegas. The first time I ever went to Vegas, I went to Vegas with my grandmother. Don't judge me. I was 18, but 18. I went to Vegas, and I remember I hit on the Wheel of Fortune slot machine, and let's just say it helped pay for my tuition that year. And I came home and I went to Die Hard Game Fan, which was a good magazine, but they also had they had a couple used video game places like Funkoland, used video game storefront. And I remember I bought a used Sega Saturn, and I bought X-Men vs. Street Fighter, an import. And I bought an import. It wasn't a Game Genie. It was like an import thing that you can put in the slot for the Sega Saturn. It'll play like imported games. I remember that. I remember that because my friend was like, "You got X-Men vs. Street Fighter?" Because we would go to the arcade and play X-Men Street Fighter all day nonstop. But then I got it at home, and then we was like, "Why are we going to arcades? We got it here." So we got it on the Dreamcast. Dreamcast at the time was like the best home system for fighting games. It just was at that time. And then what else? Oh, games I remember playing on the Sega Saturn was Guardian Heroes. I still play Guardian Heroes to this day. You know what I'm saying? I just love the Sega Saturn, bro. I mean, I would show you my Sega Saturn, but it's in my closet back there, and I just don't feel like moving my couch and getting the systems. My TurboGrafx 16 back there too, but like I said, I don't feel like. Okay, I lied. You got me. You caught me red-handed. I went and got it. I didn't want to, but anyway, I went into my closet. Sega Saturn. And where is it? It's the Sega Saturn. And then, remember I told you this was a cartridge that fit in there. Action Replay. Yep. 4 megabytes. From 1 megabyte to 4 megabytes. It not only boosts it up, but also lets you play imported games. So you slide it in there like that, and then boom. And then I forgot what that was for. The serial port. I forgot what that was for. But no. And then also, I had to go show it. The TurboGrafx. I know this. We're in the 5th generation, but the 4th generation. Like I said, this is my baby. Like I said, this is my baby. My baby. Yeah, so that's my baby right there. Speaking of babies, as far as that, Super Nintendo cartridge, Legend of Zelda, I'm never giving this up. I can't find my gold version. This is Link to the Past, Super Nintendo. I know we're past that, you know what I'm saying? We're in the 5th generation. But this is a little time break, okay? This is my time. This is my video. I can do that. Okay, and then remember I told you about the cartridges. And these are TurboGrafx 16 cards. Video game cards. This is Galaga 90, Dungeon Explorer. This was the first TurboGrafx game I bought. This one And these were $20, $20, $30 at the time. And that was crazy. Legendary Axe, Arrow Blasters. I don't know why I bought that. I had to get Bloody Wolf, but then I don't have my Bloody Wolf around here. Then I got Bonk's Revenge, as you can see. Alien Crush, if you can see that. Alien Crush. Pinball game. This is my second game I bought. Keith Courage in the Alpha Zone. That game was crazy. Yeah. Keith Courage. And then I can't find my Ninja Spirits. I'm mad about that. But the one game that I spent all day on when I got that system was Blazing Lasers. I had to get Blazing Lasers. God damn it. Blazing Lasers was crazy. But yeah. Sorry I had to interrupt the 5th generation with that. But yeah, that's that. Now back to the 5th generation. Yeah, 5th generation, you had the 3DO, you had the Sega Saturn, you had the original PlayStation, or the PlayStation 1, and you had the Nintendo 64. I don't have a Nintendo 64. I had a Nintendo 64, and then I bought my youngest siblings a Nintendo 64. I think they got both of them. I don't know what happened to my Nintendo 64, but my PlayStation, I remember spending hours upon hours upon hours on PlayStation. Like I said, the first game I got was Criticom. The next game I got, Criticom, Jumpin' Jack Flash, and Battle Arena Toshinden.
Yeah! Way to go! Get up so I can kill you again!
The 6th generation of console gaming, oh my god. At this time, I was married. Yeah, I was married. I met my wife at Beaumont, actually, in 1996. No, December 96, January 97. Yeah, I met my wife in 1997. And then I had my first son in 1997. And then was married in 2000. So yeah, I was a family man. I was a family man. We'll get more into that in the next episode, trust me. But the 6th generation, I would say, is the golden age of gaming. So many systems, so many high quality systems, so many games. It's just amazing. In the 6th generation, you had the Dreamcast, you had the PlayStation 2, you had the Nintendo GameCube, and you had the Xbox, or the Xbox 180. You can't call it the Xbox One because the Xbox One is further down the road, so you say the Xbox 180 or the original Xbox. And I don't have my Dreamcast anymore. Actually, the Dreamcast, I did not buy the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast, my friend bought the Dreamcast. He bought an import Dreamcast. The Dreamcast came out November 27th, 1999, and he bought it that November. He bought it November, right before December. And then instead of when he bought the actual, 98, excuse me. He bought the import Dreamcast in 98. Then the very next year, in 99, when America got the Dreamcast, he bought their Dreamcast and he sold me his import Dreamcast.
Game rated T for teen.
Yeah, I'm here for my license.
Get behind that yellow line!
Yeah, I know. License, please.
You better get out of my face! You ain't gonna get your punk license
Yeah,
back!
I
Look what I
know.
got on you! You drive through the mall, the subway, city park, you like a deranged
That was some big air.
What's your problem?
Hey, that's what I get paid for. I made some serious cake that day.
Crazy Taxi on Sega Dreamcast. It's thinking.
And I don't know why I do know how that Dreamcast. That Dreamcast got destroyed. Yeah, it got destroyed. I don't even want to talk about it. So I don't have a Dreamcast anymore. But PlayStation 2, let me tell you something about the PlayStation 2. By the way, the PlayStation 2 won the sixth generation. PlayStation 2 won the 6th generation. But I just want to express the PlayStation 2 right quick. This thing right here, the PlayStation 2. This is the import Japanese PlayStation 2. Okay. This is not how it used to come out. The PlayStation 2 used to be bigger. This is the PlayStation 2 Slim import edition. But anyway, I want to talk about the PlayStation. If you're new to this, if you're new to my channel, I do have a video where I explain the PlayStation 2 as far as the disc read error with the PlayStation 2. I've been through 5 PlayStation 2s. Why? Because of the Dre. Disc read error. 5. Okay. One of them, I think it was my third one, I had to trade in my GameCube. And PlayStation 2 was, before I get into the Dre error, I would like to say the PlayStation 2 is the first system that caused so much drama. That was the worst launch I've ever had when it comes to new systems. PlayStation 2 was the worst launch in history for me. I hate that launch. That launch was horrible. That was the worst launch, video game launch in history, to me personally. And a lot of y'all like, what? No, you don't understand. PlayStation 2 was the best launch in video game history by far.
What time do you have? It's like 2.5.
Okay. All right, everybody. We got 15 seconds here. We want to get a countdown from you. Let's go. Let's go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But to me personally, it was the worst. You want to know why it was the worst? Story time. Before PlayStation 2 came out, I never pre-ordered video games. I never pre-ordered consoles. Just went to the store and bought. Video games was, still like a flash in the pan. People didn't really think it was mainstream. PlayStation 2 made video games mainstream. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but they did. And I would tell you this, we went to Best Buy and we were shocked, me and my friend, we were shocked at how many people were standing in line. It was hundreds of people standing in line at Blockbuster. And we was at the Best Buy. We were at the Best Buy and on Telegraph and 12 Mile Road in Southfield, Michigan. We were there. We were in line. We got in line. I was number 101 and my friend was 102. We saw 2 employees come up to us and I asked them, yo, how many do y'all have? He said, employee A said, we have 103 units. And then I was like, bet, that means I'm gonna get one. And then the employee B next to him was like 96. And we was like, what? He was like, nah, we got 96. And then the other employee A was like, I thought we had, and the employee B was like, I was like, oh, these is dibbling. The employees is getting it. I looked at my friend, I was like, we're screwed. We are screwed, bro. We're not gonna get a system. We're not gonna get a system. I was like, oh my God, we're not gonna get a PlayStation tonight. I was like, oh no, what is going on? Half these mofos don't even play video games. Oh no, we're not getting a system today, dog. What we gonna do? So then, like I said, we were on Telegraph and 12 Mile. If you don't know what let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. This is where the corner of Telegraph Road and 12 Mile Road looks like now, today, in Southfield, Michigan. But this right here, all of this right here used to be a actual mall, not a strip mall. It's a mall. It's a strip mall now. They closed the mall down, made it into a strip mall. Okay. Best Buy used to be over here, which is off the screen. This Best Buy is over here. This road right here is Telegraph. This road right here is 12 Mile. Okay, so we're over here off screen. We're over here. Best Buy used to be over there. All right, right here is Media Play. Okay, and way back over here used to be Toys R Us. God damn it, I miss Toys R Us. But anyway, I digress. So once we found out we're not getting one, I was like, yo, let's go to Media Play. My friend was like, what? I was like, he was like, nah. I was like, I'm going over to media play. He was like, no, I was like, and I didn't even let him finish. As you can see, I literally ran across, this is like 11 o'clock at night. I ran across this. This used to here, these islands, these used to not be here. These used to be like those 4-foot tall barriers. I hopped over that barrier, ran over there. I almost got hit like 3 or 4 times. I ran right over here and stood in line right here for media play. Oh, and yeah, the rest is here. Rest is history. But yeah, I ran across a 5 to 6 lane highway to get a PlayStation 2. So I get in the line of media play. I get in line and I ask them, I said, so do you have any more? And you know, what you looking like? And it's like, well, we sold out everything that we have. I was like, oh my God, here we go. Then they was like, but you can sign up for the bundle, which we get reshipment or restock in about a week. And you put like an extra $200 with what you about to pay for, you'll get like 5 or 6 games, an extra controller, and you know, memory card. Was it a memory card? I think a memory card. I can't remember. And I was like, you sure I get it in another week? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So that's what I did. The games I got with launch for PlayStation 2, I got the Summoner, Time Splitters, Dead or Alive 2, Armored Core 2 or 3. I can't remember. It was either Armored Core 2 or 3. Dynasty Warriors 2. That was the last one I got. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, I got Armored Core 2, DOA 2 Hardcore, Dynasty Warriors 2, Street Fighter EX 3, Taken Tag Tournament, and Time Splitters. Hey, I didn't have any kids, dog, and I was busting my ass to save up for it. So I had got like at least 7 games. Yeah. I was good. That was Gucci for that Christmas. I was Gucci, and I was just, like I said, it was the worst. It was the worst launch I've ever been in. It was the worst launch I've ever been in. But I was Gucci. I had like 7 games at launch, right before Christmas, right before the New Year's, and I was good. You know what I'm saying? I was good. You know what I'm saying? I was good. So yeah, but then after that, then my system died like a year later. was like, yo, what is going on? Why are we getting gray areas? What is this about discrete errors? If you know, you know. Sometimes your PlayStation will only read Blu-ray disc and won't read regular CD disc. And then other times they'll read regular CD disc and won't read Blu drive disc. And then sometimes it won't read neither of them. And you know, we became actual A+ certified PC technicians then.
Into the slot, like so. And twisting it clockwise for more gain, or anti-clockwise for less gain. More gain.
We scoured online and in forums, you know what I'm saying? This is way before YouTube. So we had to go online and go to forums and bulletin boards and figure it out and watch VHS videos, you know, that was recorded online through GIF. And see how people would go in there and open up the back of it, the bottom, and turn the screw for the laser so it can hit just right and this and that, void the warranty. I went through 4 or 5 different PlayStation 2s. And Funkoland knew me by name, you know what I'm saying? I would trade in. And then I got tired of it, so I traded in my last PlayStation 2 to get a GameCube. Didn't want to, but I did. And yeah, the rest is history. A year later, the Xbox came out.
Hey!
Play with a friend or play with yourself. Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. Tecmo. 100% games.
For hot beaches, there's no power greater than X.
I remember. And I remember I didn't even pre-order. The Xbox, I don't recall if I pre-ordered or not. I do remember buying it from Myers in Ann Arbor because I had worked at MCI WorldCom at the time. And I remember going to Myers and buying it. In fact, it's still here. This big ass box, the Xbox. Oh, it's heavy as hell. Oh my god. So yeah, the Xbox, the big heavy box. That box heavy as hell. God damn. So yeah, I remember buying the Xbox, and of course, PlayStation 1, that the sixth generation, PlayStation 1, the sixth generation, but I had fun. The seventh generation. Oh my god. The seventh generation pretty much started in 2004, 2005. And then it lasted until 2017. Speaking of 2006, the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 came out. And the Wii. And it was everybody who had consoles. It was condensed. Sega had finally, bent the knee, got out of the console making business, and then it was just the three. It was just Nintendo, Microsoft, and and Sony. And you had the 360, you had the PlayStation 3, and you had the Wii. Who won the generation? This is when the fanboys. Everybody says it's either the 360 won. No, the PlayStation 3 won. No, the Wii won. Honestly, quite frankly, the Wii won. They sold the most units. To me personally, I would say the Xbox 360 won. But it's not me personally. It is not due to my biases either. If you want to be strict to the facts, Nintendo Wii won the 7th generation. But me personally, in my heart of hearts, the Xbox 360 won. Because that PlayStation 3 was, oh my god. That PlayStation 3. Even though the PlayStation 3 was a good system. Even though the PlayStation 3 was a good system. It was a very good system. It wasn't messing with the 360, dog. It wasn't. I'm sorry. It wasn't messing with the 360. The 360, the Xbox 360. This is the Xbox 360 Slim, by the way. But the Xbox 360. Oh my god. Xbox 360 was just phenomenal, dude. I had so many games. The Xbox 360 was the first system I had like over hundreds of games.
Rated teen.
Hey Matt, I'm gonna find you because I can see everything. Every cobblestone, every wisp of smoke. Every shingle on every roof. There's no place for you to hide, because I can see
You see this?
360 was amazing, dog. 360 was amazing. The Xbox 360 was goddamn flat out amazing. I don't care what nobody say. So many good games. So many goddamn funs. Like I said, so many good games on the Xbox 360. I mean, Gears of War for starters. Let's start there. Gears of War 1, 2, 3, and Gears of War Judgment. I mean, Mass Effect 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Gears of War. You know what I'm saying? Good games, good quality games.
You recording?
Yes.
Streaming?
No.
So you can pause this.
Yes.
You can edit it.
Yes.
Okay. Just want to see my little bus here.
Oh my god, my beautiful wife. She looks sexy as All right. Okay. All right. Say it again. Okay. What is your thought of dating a gamer at that time when we were dating?
I didn't believe it.
Why didn't you believe it?
Because I didn't think nobody could love video games as much as you did.
Why you say that?
Because you played like all the time.
Story time. When I started dating with my wife at the time, I didn't let her know I was a gamer until being around all the time. Then I started gaming, and then she was
So
like,
you lied.
What? No, I didn't lie. I just...
You omitted information?
Yeah, because I was all infatuated with you.
Okay, I get it.
But then there was this one time I would hang out with my friends. We would hang out till 3 to 4 o'clock in the morning, and she would just be like, "You out there doing some dirt? You ain't playing no video games." And I was like, "Yes, we are playing. We are gaming." She was like, And I quote.
That's what they called it, video games.
And I quote, this is what she said. Ain't no nigga out 3 o'clock in the morning playing no goddamn video games.
I don't talk like that, so I didn't say that.
Anyway, so yeah. And then she was like, oh, you really do be out here playing games. Yeah.
And then after what?
And we was playing
it after that.
Yeah, we was playing Mario Kart. Look, if you play Mario Kart, you understand how rough and how aggressive those games can get.
Wait, so you have been waiting all night for Mario Kart?
Like I said, Mario Kart. You ain't played Mario Kart. I'm telling you, Mario Kart, man. You lose friendships over Mario Kart and Uno.
Your relationships too, apparently.
Anyway.
Wait, what's this?
Oh, just a charger. I need to throw it away.
I'm out of here.
And you didn't beat me at Tekken.
I did. The winner's a winner. Carry on.
Before the current generation is the 8th generation, where we have, the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One. Okay. This generation started on 2012, and it ended, or is, ended to the 2020. PlayStation 4 is good, really, really good. Very good system. It just sounds like a damn jet engine. And then you look in the front right here, the eject button right here. I took it off because it fell off. So I had to inject with the controller, or instead of physically, I had to do it logically to inject my games. But other than that, this generation was just ridiculous, bro. They had such good games. The winner by far was the PlayStation 4. The PlayStation 4 won that generation. Xbox One was very good. And then that's when we saw the shift, the last generation, in the 7th generation, I was all about the 360. Over the PlayStation 3. But then the PlayStation 4 came out. I was all over about the PlayStation 4 over the Xbox One. Which was funny because this is around the time where I became a professional launch expert, okay? After what happened with PlayStation 2 and the worst launch, I started pre-ordering my games. I started pre-ordering my consoles. Actually, it wasn't a PlayStation 2 that made me start pre-ordering video games. What made me start pre-ordering video games, because I was like, I'll pre-order consoles, I won't pre-order video games. But the game that made me pre-order games was Grand Theft Auto Vice City for the PlayStation 2. When Grand Theft Auto came out, it was just hard to find. And it was like, did you pre-order? It's like, no. And you know what started that? Because on the regular PlayStation, but on the regular PlayStation, I remember going to Babbage's. If you know Babbage's, and I went to Babbage's, I was gonna pick up a new game. Castlevania 4 came out on the Nintendo 64, and I was like, oh, sweet, because I was just on the, I just got off the train of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and then Nintendo had, because we played Castlevania 1, 2, and 3 on the Nintendo. It was going back home, one on PlayStation. I was like, I don't have no Nintendo 64 good games. Castlevania 4 is gonna be a good game. Let's get it. Got Castlevania 4, was highly disappointed. I was like, I don't want this shit. So I was like, I gotta take this back. So I went back to Babbage's. It's like, I don't want this. Then it's like, well, you can do store credit, or you can trade it in for another new game. And I was like, well, what's out? He said, play Grand Theft Auto 3. And I was like, Grand Theft Auto 3? Isn't the Grand Theft Auto 3 like the bird's eye view type games that I used to play in the lobby or play at school? He was like, no, it's different. It's saying it's a new thing called sandbox. So you get, it's like third person. I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's like, because I'm not too keen on Grand Theft Auto. I didn't really like Grand Theft Auto 1 or 2. It's like, no, it's different. Just try it out. If you don't like it, you can bring it back. And I was like, yeah, okay. Man, I took home Grand Theft Auto 3. I played that game nonstop for the next month and a half. So then when they announced Grand Theft Auto Vice City was coming out, I guess everybody felt the same way too. And I was like, man, I can't wait till Grand Theft Auto Vice City come out. And I went everywhere. GameStop. It was like, Did you pre-order? No. Well, you ain't getting it. Funko Land, Babbage's. Well, Babbage's is on his way out. Electronic Boutique. I went to Toys R Us was even taking pre-orders. I was like, what the fuck? Best Buy pre-orders. I was like, what the? I can't get this game. I need this game. This game comes out. It's out today. I need it. So did you pre-order? No. I went to Oakland Mall. And I went to Circuit City. God damn it, I miss Circuit City. I don't miss Best Buy, but I do miss Circuit City. Man, I miss Circuit City. And Circuit City had a copy. They had 2 copies left. I bought one. I was like, okay, we in there. And I played Vice City for the remainder of the year after that. But I digress. I bring that story up to bring up another story. So I'm pre-ordering my consoles now. So I'm pre-ordering PlayStation 4 and Xbox. They were announced. When were they announced? They were announced. They were announced at E3 in 2012, I think, because they came out in 2013. I do remember that. And I was like, at this time, YouTube was full blown. YouTube was was out there, almost 10 years old. You can get videos now on YouTube. You can stream now your game. So it was becoming good. It was becoming real good. So I was all right, cool, bet. So then I'm like, all right, this is around the time, and this time I had relocated from Michigan. In 2012, I relocated from Michigan down to Dallas. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna get the PlayStation 4. I'm gonna pre-order that. So I'm pre-ordering, and I used to pre-order my systems at GameStop, but this time I was like, I'm not pre-ordering my games at GameStop. I'm pre-ordering my games at Best Buy, because this is when Best Buy started doing pre-orders, and I was having to do my pre-orders at Best Buy. So I put down money for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, right, at the Best Buy. Now, mind you, PlayStation 4 came out November, like the second week of November. When did Xbox come out? And then the next week, Xbox came out. So around the 15th to 16th for the PlayStation 4, and then around the 20th, 21st, or 22nd for the Xbox. So that November 1st or 2nd or 3rd, I went to my Best Buy, which was good 5 minutes drive away from me. And I looked, and it was closed. And it wasn't like closed for the day. It was permanently closed. This location is closed. And I was like, yo, we not doing this. Yo, y'all took my money. Oh my God. And I'm not talking about, look, I had pre-ordered the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. And I was coming to pay the final payments on both. So that's over, like, at least that's over a rack. You know what I'm saying? They got my money. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Oh my God, I'm out of a goddamn no. And then on the side of the door, it said, if you pre-orders or if you here for warranties for pre-orders, go to this our sister location, which was further down, which was in Allen. And I was like, okay, whew. So I went to Allen, and then paid on it. It was good. But here's the thing. So then, that was November the 2nd or the 3rd. The game comes out in about a week and a half. Then November 6th or 7th, I forgot who made Watch Dogs. They was like, yeah, we're going to push the Watch Dogs. It's not going to be a launch title for the PlayStation. We're going to push it for a whole year, or push it till May or the spring of 2013. I was like, you got to be... No, the spring of 2014. I was like, you got to be kidding me, bro. I was like, no, I'm not getting a PlayStation. So I was like, but damn, I already bought it. What am I gonna do with it? And I was like, all right, maybe I'll sell it. No, I'm not giving it away. I'm selling it. And so, hindsight 2020, I should have gave it away as a for my YouTube page. That's what I should have did. But I wasn't thinking, dummy. I was a dummy then. So I was like, you know what? And then my wife was like, well, my coworker, her husband, she wanted to surprise him with one. You can sell it to her. And she was like, how much you gonna sell it for? I think at that time it was like $400 or $500. I was like, I'll sell it for $600. So I sold it for $600. Sold my PlayStation. And then I used the money that she gave me to get like so many games and another controller, a cover for my Xbox One, and the controller, more games. And I was like, the PlayStation 4 launch, I went in there and got my game, and it was quiet, it was cold. I think it was raining, and nobody was really out there. And I was like, oh, they don't really stand out for pre-orders down here, I guess. Okay. All right. So, but I got my system, went home. Then my wife, she came home. No, my wife sent her co-worker to our house because she was at work. And the co-worker came, I gave it to her. She gave me money. I was like, all right, cool, bet. Pleasure doing business with you. And I gave her the receipt in case they have problems. So then the very next week, Xbox One launched. That was the best launch ever. PlayStation 2 was the worst launch experience I ever had. Xbox One was the best launch I've ever had, dude. It was the best launch ever, dude. It was the best launch. They had a DJ. They had free pizza. I mean, we was just rocking out. We was having a blast. We was just, and then they had setups. We was playing Killer Instinct. We was playing Killer Instinct, Fonza. We was playing, what else was we playing? We was playing all the launch titles on the Xbox, and it was like, and then around this time, at the mall, which was about 15 miles away from that Best Buy, but three minutes from my house, at that mall, they had a Microsoft store. So Microsoft employees was at this Best Buy. I don't know why they was at. Oh, because they were supposed to be at the other Best Buy, but it closed down. But they was at this Best Buy, and they had setups, and we could play. We was playing Killer Instinct. We was playing Dead Rising 3. We was playing Fonza. We was playing that other that military game, Rise. That Greek Roman type game. I forget the name of it. It was a launch title too. We played all the launch titles, and I had bought all the launch titles, right? So we was having a blast, man. Pizza, man. That was the best launch ever I've ever experienced. That was the best launch ever, and so we had so much fun. And then, like I said, I had got Dead Rising 3. Oh my gosh, she just titty killed him. Oh my god, this game is awesome. This game is great. Oh my god, she grabbed his hands and touched his breast. Oh my god, this bitch is a freak. This game is great. But then people were getting Fonza, people were getting Battlefield 4. And people were getting Call of Duty Ghosts, and people was getting Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. I was like, I'm here for Killer Instinct and 2K and Dead Rising 3. I was like, I gotta get Dead Rising 3. Oh, Rise, Son of Rome. That was the name of the other game. And so, because people were playing Crimson Dragon, people were playing Battlefield, people were playing Dead Rising, people were playing Forza, Rise, and Killer Instinct. And you know where I was at. I was on the Killer Instinct side. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to play Dead Rising 3 because I wanted to go home and play Dead Rising 3. You know what I'm saying? What was Fighter Within? What the hell was Fighter Within? Was that 3D game? Oh yeah, Fighter Within was that 3D Connect game where you had to, Anyway, I digress. But then in May, that's when May of 2014, that's when I got what's the name of that game? I got Watch Dogs, and then I got the game that I still that didn't happen until 2016, but. There's so many games on PlayStation 4, like the best NBA 2K on PlayStation 4, NBA 2K17. I don't know if you can see it. That's the best 2K ever. Monster Hunter World. Oh my God, that was my first introduction to Monster Hunter. I love Monster Hunter Worlds. The Division, Destiny, oh my God, Destiny came out. I still got that video on YouTube. I'll put that link on there. All these links I'll put in the description. Destiny, I had played Destiny. I was a part of the alpha test. I remember that. And then of course, No Man's Sky. But yeah, the PlayStation 4, I spent so much time on the PlayStation 4, so many good games. And it's just like, and people to this day are still playing the PlayStation 4. They won't switch over to the PlayStation 5. And the reason why is because Well, a lot of people like there's no good games on the PlayStation 5 for me to switch over. They're all on the PlayStation 4, and that's the developer's fault. And then it has to do with the pandemic as well. You know what I'm saying? The pandemic has something to do with that too. But yeah, the 8th generation was fun. It was a great time to be a gamer. But now we're in the 9th generation, and we got to talk about the 9th generation. All right, and now we're in the 9th generation. We're currently in the 9th generation. And there's still 3 makers. I mean, we got the Sony PlayStation 5, you got the Microsoft Series X, Series S, and you got the Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, and then let's not forget, we have Steam with the Steam Deck. And then, you know, speaking of PCs, was I part of the master race? Yes, I was part of the master race from from 2008 until from 1998 up till 2008. I was part of the master race. I would play me and my crew, my clan, TFO, Team Falcon Online. We would play Star Wars Galaxies. I would never thought I would be an MMO type of guy, but I played the 2 MMOs that I had the most fun with, and the only MMOs I played with at that time on the PC was Star Wars Galaxies and City of Heroes / City of Villains. Love both of those games. Absolutely adored those games. It had so much fun with those communities. You really did. Then I would play Jedi Knight 1. No, I didn't play Jedi Knight 1. I played Jedi Knight 2 and Jedi Knight 3 Academy. Love that. Battlefield 1942. Oh my God. I got so many stories with Battlefield 1942 and Battlefield 2. Oh my God. Used to play the damn snot out of those games on the PC. There's so many games. And then Doom 3. Doom 3 had my Doom 3, when I got Doom 3 on the PC, I had my brother play it in the dark in the basement. He ran out that damn basement so fast. The very first mission, he was out of there, bro. And I had it hooked up to the surround sound too. He was out of there. So yeah, I was part of the master race for a while. But back to the 9th generation. 9th generation, we're in the 9th generation. I mean, there's so many good games, out. Like I'm playing Street Fighter 6, playing Marvel Rivals, playing Overwatch. Now, Overwatch and No Man's Sky that I played every day is in Destiny. Well, I used to play Destiny. They started in the 8th generation, but they continued on into the current generation, which is the 9th generation. And I remember watching it because I had worked midnights. And I remember I watched the announcement that it was coming out. It was a demo presentation or tech video. And then I went and I fell asleep. After that presentation of E3 of the PlayStation 5, they said that you can go and sign up for pre-orders right then and there. Normally I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. And one of my friends, I met him, by proxy of another friend. So he's a friend of a friend. And we talk online, and when we see each other, we talk, but we never talk all daily or anything like that. It was never a phone call. He called me up and woke me up, and I was like, why are you calling me? He's like, get online, get your ass up and pre-order the PlayStation 5. It's available now for pre-order. I was like, now? It's a year. It said it's coming out next year. No, damn all that. You better get on here and play and pre-order your PlayStation 5 now. I was like, yo, thanks for waking me up. I was like, and he never called me. Ever since then, before then, he never called me. And ever since then, we've only talked 3 times over the phone. We text via phone, but as far as talking audio on the phone, twice, ever. So it was like he was looking out for me, and good looking out. He good looking out. So I pre-ordered, And I was like, cool, I'm good. But it was a pre-order for the lottery. And I didn't remember. No, it was pre-order. And then next thing you know, the next order, and the next time you had to get online, you had to sign into the website so you can secure your order. I remember securing my order during a wedding proposal. German Luger proposed to his wife when they came down to visit. He wanted to do it in front of me and my wife as witnesses. And I remember sitting at our favorite restaurant, and I was on the phone like this. So I was like, you either gonna propose right now or now? He's like, yeah, I want you to record it. I'm like, I'm trying to get a PlayStation 5. He's like, I want you to record this. I want you to record proposing. I'm trying to get a PlayStation 5. He's like, Negro, if you don't record this damn proposal, I was like, I'm trying to get a PlayStation 5. so yeah, I remember that. It was crazy. So yeah, so luckily I secured my order. Then I was able to record, their proposal, but the video was upside down. But I got it. But anyway, so yeah, so that happened. And then Microsoft said you had to pre-order the Xbox. Now, the funny story about the Xbox, me and my wife was like, our mid-son, he's doing so well in school. He's, he got a job, he's doing well in life. Let's pre-order him an Xbox One. So we did that. The funny thing about that is when he came in the door and he saw the Xbox One, at this time, my oldest son had moved out. My mid-son is straight up Xbox, and my youngest son is straight up Sony PlayStation. So my mid-son, he sees me with an Xbox, and we all go back and forth, and those two always go back and forth. Console war. So when you talk about the console war, it's living, breathing in my house. It was at a time, and especially in 2020. So my son came in, and he saw it on the couch, and he was like, "Is that an Xbox Series X?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "You don't even play with your Xbox One. You said you would not get an Xbox Series X." I was like, "I know, but I changed my mind. You called the Xbox Series, you called the Xbox One a Netflix player." I was like, "I know." He's like, "You don't even like Xbox like that." I was like, "I know." And he was like, "What? So you bought it?" I was like, "Yeah." "You didn't give me one?" I was like, "No, this is mine." The look this boy gave me, I swear to God, I thought I was going to die that night. I'm not lying, though. Oh, you can ask my wife. I thought I was dead because the look he gave me was like, you can see the wheels in his mind. It's like, I'm going to have to kill this fool. He playing with my emotions. He don't even like Xbox, and then he going to buy an Xbox, and he was slandering the mighty Bill Gates and the Xbox, the whole brand, and he's sitting up here playing to my emotions, and he know I love Xbox. He didn't give me one. I know I should be grateful, but damn, the way he described Xbox, he shouldn't even deserve one. So then I was like, "No, it's yours. And he was like, oh. Then he just started crying. He was like, "Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh my God." And I was like, this dude was really going to take me out. So yeah, I couldn't keep the joke going on as long, but I thought that was funny. Thought that was hilarious. But on a somber note, this is when the pandemic came around. This is when we lost a lot of good people. This is around the time where we as gamers, we gamed. We were confined to our house. We were quarantined. And a lot of people stayed home and gamed. A lot of us gamers gamed. And if you would have gone to TikTok, if you would have went to Facebook, if you went to any social media, you'll see people complaining, talking about, dang, I gotta stay home. It's boring. Oh my God. No clubs is open, no parties is none. It's boring. My house is, I'm stuck in the house. This is boring. But not us gamers. Us gamers was enjoying it. We was like, oh my God, we living in cloud 9. This is the best thing ever. We ain't got to go to work. We can work from home. We can stay in game. Oh my God. It was the best day. It was the best time for a gamer. It was the worst time for humanity. But God damn it, it was the best time for be a gamer because we was at home gaming, eating nachos, eating tostados and everything. Just gaming our lives away. Literally. You know what I'm saying? No. And introverts. And if you were an introvert, oh my God, it was the best, man. You had to deal with nobody. You had to talk to nobody. You know what I'm saying? DoorDash was all-time high. You can order your food, you know what I'm saying? Put your mask on if you had to go outside. But here's the thing, though. Everywhere else in the country, everybody was wearing masks, except for down here in Texas. They was like, I ain't got to wear a goddamn mask. That's against my freedoms. It's like, you could die. That's against my freedoms. You know, down here, it was like people just didn't close down everything. Back home in Michigan, they closed everything down. Everything was on the lot. But down here, everybody was walking around maskless in the middle of the pandemic. I was like, damn, y'all brave as fuck. Nah, not me. I was masked up, double masked. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, N7 masks. You know, N7 masks. It was just all day. You know, my wife is a nurse, so I had an abundance of N7 masks. I was not getting that. But yeah. But eventually, you know, PlayStation 5 came out, enjoyed it, different games, and it's just here we are. This is where we at. Just love gaming. You know what I'm saying? So. With that being said, this is a long one. This is a long video. I hope you appreciate it. If you like this video, like and subscribe. And like I said, this is episode 1, Diary of a Old Gamer, and it's titled Origins. It's a 3-part docuseries, and the second episode is all about the FGC. I gotta give love to the fighting game community. And I also got to explain and express what I contribute to the fighting game community. Because I think a lot of people forgot what TFA did. I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye. Just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away. To see you again. Been fighting ways to get away. To see you again. We got millions of reasons